Welcome to another episode of the Wagner Wiles. Super awesome one tonight for us because we have cultivated an awesome friendship with Jaysen Buterin from Kill Giggles, the writer, director, and the mastermind of Kill Giggles. So we are so looking forward to this episode. And I would say this young lady has done some homework. I was a huge Jaysen fan. This is a huge Jaysen fan now. So you got two of us. And Joe, whenever you're ready, please bring up Jaysen. There he is.
Hey, Jaysen.
Hi, everybody.
How are you?
Living the dream. How are you, though?
Good. A little late for you?
No, not at all. No, there's no rest for the wicked.
That's what I'm talking about.
Everybody says you can rest when you're dead.
That's right. That's right.
Right.
A long, long way away. We got to get Kill Giggles out first.
This is true. I've got miles to go before I sleep.
Do we have an actual release date?
Right now, well, we have a world premiere set at an as yet unnameable film festival. Well, we should hopefully be able to let that information drop at the beginning of April. But the festival itself is at the end of May, and then and we have a North Carolina premiere date set for the week after that. That'll be in Charlotte at a big convention called Con Carolinas.
Okay.
Nice.
So we're gonna have the North Carolina premiere of that, and then it'll also be the world premiere of the behind the scenes documentary.
And then I need to get that in that collection ASAP.
We'll make it happen. You gotta let me know. Do you want DVD? Do you want Blu-ray? Do you want I'm opting for the VHS with the big puffy cassette cases because I missed them.
I'll probably do both. I'll do the Blu-ray and the DVD.
Actually, it's only gonna be strictly Laserdisc. That's what.
Okay, yeah. I need a Laserdisc player. That's a good excuse.
Laserdisc player.
Yes.
It'll be an excuse to go get one for him now. Thank you.
Inside, she's screaming Jaysen right now. So
no, she's not wrong, dude. She's not wrong.
I'm not wrong.
We're running out of space.
We're running out of space. Yes. So, congratulations on an award you won recently.
Award-winning.
Thank
That's
you.
awesome.
That was unexpected. That was pretty cool. Pretty cool.
So it was a MystiCon 2020, and it was Best in Show.
Yes.
And
MystiCon Independent Film Festival. We've been fortunate enough to screen there for several years in a row now, and they've always been very, very kind and very nice to us. So we wanted to give them just sort of a special treat, but with the film not being complete yet, we gave them the first 10 minutes of Kill Giggles and then the first 20 minutes of Inside the Circus Tent, the making of Kill Giggles. So,
right.
But it was cool. We had Best in Show. I'm like, holy shit, we only showed the first 10 minutes. I'm like, wow. And then I just like lit the fire in my ass. I'm like, we're going to win everything.
Yes.
Probably will not win anything now because I'm way too Irish to say that without something horrible happening. But benefit of the doubt. Yeah.
So I had read that was your first award, but then when I was reading maybe in your IMDb, it talked about that it had won another award. Well, so I was confused.
Well, that was the first award for Kill Giggles. And then Kill Giggles, the screenplay, had won a couple of different awards in various festivals. And then we also did a proof of concept 2 years back, which was essentially the first 5 minutes, the first scene of the film. Just to use that as a proof of concept to kind of raise money and stuff like that for the feature, which we did. So then that was lucky enough to win a couple of. We've been really, really lucky, very, very fortunate to have a lot of really good luck at film festivals. So the Gospel According to Booze Bullets, Hot Pink Jesus, that won some things. Between Hell and a Hard Place, Don't Let the Light in the Corner. So like I said, we're very, very lucky and very grateful to have a few accolades on our belt.
And you wrote all those? Those were all written by you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nobody else will let me direct their stuff. So and that's I've got there's so many demons screaming in my head at any given time. I'm trying to finish 5 different short screenplays right now to gear up so I can get all that shit out of the way and make brain room for the next feature. So it's not pretty in there.
I like in the documentary somebody said talking about they had the I don't know what you call it, the screenplay or whatever for each scene, and they said if Jaysen wrote it, it's a lot of words.
Yeah. Which is one thing a Jaysen Buterin script has.
Has a lot of words.
That's my dear brother Michael Ray Williams. And that one is fucking brilliant. One of the best actors, if not the best actor I've ever.
I enjoyed what I saw. Yes.
Well, and you see him like he was in between Hell and a Hard Place, and I mean, we've been fortunate enough to work together. And then we did a Star Wars fan film, which ended up being in the top 25 out of the world, which was mind blowing.
Congratulations!
Yeah, no, that was all Justin Reich's baby. It was called Identity Thieves, and it was a super fun project. But Michael's also an extremely talented stage actor, and I mean, he's one of those people like he's so talented and nice at the same time. Like you want to not like him, but then you just can't help it. Although there's some people who don't like him, but those people are fucking idiots and we don't care what they do.
The cast is amazing. I didn't realize Ellie was in the movie, and that was like really exciting for me.
Ms. Ellie Church, she is some kind of wonderful, that's for certain.
That was great. And then Felissa was through Tommy Faircloth. That's how y'all met.
Yeah,
that is really cool.
I met her down at the thing I love about there's a fantastic festival down in Charleston called Crimson Screen Horror Fest. And aside from having completely just mind-blowing kick-ass programming, they'll have like one sort of celebrity VIP guest. So it's not, a lot of conventions will just sort of inundate audiences. And I mean, they'll bring in as many people because they want to make as much money. I mean, stuff like that. So Crimson Screen really focuses on the films themselves and then has one little special kind of an added bonus. The year that Don't Let the Light got in, Felissa Rose was the guest. Okay. So I was already automatically shitting kittens because I mean I can remember the first time back in 1984 when I saw the ending of Sleepaway Camp and I'm like, fuck my ass. I was like, great, don't say things like that. I'm like, Papa, still, spoilers, she's got a dick.
Right.
Still one of the best original horror endings. I mean,
it's classic.
Fuck! And then like your mouth's open and then you want to close it because like she might put the dick in there and you're like, so anyway, I was freaking out that I was going to meet her, and then we ended up getting down there, and I think like it was in the first 30 seconds we had like 3 shots of Fireball, and everything was completely aces after that.
Awesome.
And she ended up not only liking my film but loving it and then voting for it. I'm like, fuck. And then it actually won something, which was it was like a double fuck. And then we just kind of hit it off after that. We sort of kept in touch, and she ended up contributing a voice to The Corner, like the voice of the mother on the phone. And then when I started getting serious about Kill Giggles, I was like, I would love to be able to have you in my first feature. And she's like, well, make it happen. And I was just like, she's just saying that doesn't mean it. No, she actually meant it.
She meant it.
She's a woman of her word. So, I mean, we kept in touch, and through a lot of administrative schedule wrangling, we're able to make magic happen.
And I have to touch on the fact that Mr. Vernon Wiles is in your movie as Giggles, right? I mean, he's the man. Now, what I have to make sure I say this because we have talked before, and I let somebody down who used to do our artwork back here in the back. Mr. Brian Clegg gives me shit all the time that I didn't say he was in the Road Warrior. So I've got to make sure that I recognize that Mr. Vernon Wiles was in the Road Warrior for Brian Clegg.
The Road Warrior.
Just the Road Warrior.
Science, Power Rangers, inner space. You can't spend any amount of time with Vernon Wiles and not pick up the accent.
It's rubbed off on you. Now, hey, check this out. Check this out, Jaysen.
Yes, sir.
With you, talk about 6 degrees of separation. Vernon was in Weird Science, correct?
Uh-huh.
This young lady had lunch with Michael Berryman about 2 weeks ago.
No,
how cool is that?
That's pretty rad.
Cool. Yeah, it looked like when I was looking through your all your stuff because like I wanted to know everything. That most of your team has all worked together before, so y'all like each other, I guess.
Many times, yeah. I don't know whether like me. They're fantastic. I am just like a dick sandwich wrapped in like asshole taco sauce. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of meat. Other people are. My son loves me, and that's really.
I love you. I love you.
You guys are quite fond of me. I feel the same way. No, what we've done sort of with Mad Ones Films, I mean, is that's cutting our teeth, doing short films for about the last, when did we start? 2006. Fuck me, 14 years. Math is a hell of a drug. Yeah, I mean, just cutting our teeth on short films for the last 13 years and working on each other's projects and my stuff. And it's a very sort of an incestuous community we have here because, I mean, I'm a writer and director on a feature film, and that sounds all fucking fancy. For Jesse and I'll sit there in the rain for like 3 hours and hold a boom pole because I owe him. Like he shot on my stuff, but we've been able to pull together, I mean, just an amazing network of people between like myself, Jesse Knight, Jaysen Ledford, John R. Mazza, Thorin Clader, all the executive producers on Kill Giggles. Mr. Ledford is a teacher at Western Carolina University, so he pulled in a lot of students to fulfill various roles and interns. And then through Jesse, I met Tristan Chaika, who was the AC, and we rented his wonderful package. It was just camera stuff and lights, but I like to say I paid an obscene amount of money for that man's package. But you've seen Kill Giggles. So I mean, and again, it's just sort of doing the short films and seeing what works and what doesn't work, and being on other people's sets and stuff like that has allowed us just to be able to build a wonderful, maniacal working relationship. Most of us are batshit crazy. I seem to be the one running the asylum at any given time. Awesome. But I mean, we have a lot of fun on set. I mean, there's, we're not constantly cutting up, but I mean, there's a palpable level of humor as well as an amazing level of efficacy. I mean, we shot Kill Giggles, 38 locations in 19 days. Wow. I mean, there was one location we were for 2 days, but otherwise everything else was bang, 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 bang. But I mean, that's also because I spent like an insane amount of time on pre-production. So I mean, there was a lot of hours and weeks and months that went into this to make that 19 days happen, and we're still not done. I mean, we're tits deep in post-production, but it's going amazingly well. Just so I'm very, very happy.
Got to get it in front of my eyes as soon as possible. I'm dying over here.
I promise. You've got to see what happens with Mr. Vernon Wiles.
Yes, we do.
He plays Malcolm Foster, and Mal Foster roughly translates to bad clown in Latin, just because I'm a very cunning linguist. He had to be Giggles. There was someone else I was thinking of originally and didn't mention.
Deaf dogs.
Sorry.
Who knew?
never apologize for puppy dogs.
Yeah,
And then Felissa's like, well, why don't you get Vernon in it? I'm like, why don't I get Vernon Wiles in it? She's like, no, really, here's his number. I'll send it. And then did it.
Wow.
And now Vernon Wiles is Giggles. So.
And how Judith O'Day, I mean, just
Judith.
just pick her up too.
No, yeah, I was out trolling the conventions. They're gonna like, I'll take you and you and
yeah.
Judith is, I mean, it's just absolutely amazing. Has some of the most wonderful diction, speaking voice out of anyone on the planet, I think. But I did a movie, I had a bit part in a movie a few years back, Night of the Living Dead Genesis, which Mr. Matt Cloud was doing, a filmmaker out of Buterin, Virginia. And not a remake of Night of the Living Dead, but sort of a retelling of the same story, but expanding on the backstory of the characters before we met them in the black and white 68 classics, the kind of what everyone was doing before they all showed up at the farmhouse. And Judith O'Day was in there reprising her role as Barbara, and I was lucky enough, myself and a beloved president, Mr. Donnie Sturgis, we got to play security guards at the institution where she was at, and that was at the what was the name of it? Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum, which was in Weston, West Virginia.
Wow.
And the creepiest fucking place on the planet. And I grew up in Missouri. Like this shit, like haunted. Like everything you saw was the creepiest thing ever, and nobody went to the bathroom by themselves because everyone was fucking scared. But I got to be one of the security guards who takes her from her room to the thing. I look at the building next to me. I'm like, we came and got Barbara. That made me so very happy. And then I was fortunate enough, I think we were in our pajamas at like 5 a.m. eating bacon together. I mean, like you will. And we just sort of kept in touch after that. And I caught up with her, I think, at a Mad Monster party and a couple other different cons and stuff like that. And there was a fantasy script called Blood of the Dragon, which actually has new life breathed into it. But Bill Mulligan wrote a brilliant fucking fantasy screenplay. There's dragons and blood and fucking magic and goblins and orcs and witches, and everything in there you would want. So we originally talked to her about being in that, but then we realized that a fantasy film costs a shit ton of money.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, so it got sort of, the dragon slept for a while. It's still sleeping, but we'll wake up soon. And then Giggles came along, and I wrote the role of Deborah DePrima, who stars, she's sort of a parody of herself. She's like the star of the Living Dead Girl films in the movie. So I was kind of like, and then I did some movie magic. I got like photos of Judith and photos of Ellie, and Photoshop wizardry happened. But yeah, we brought her in for a day on set. I mean, she was just absolutely amazing. Like one of the nicest souls I think I've ever had the good fortune to work with so far.
That is so cool.
What would possess you to want to make a full feature in 19 days? That's like insanity.
Yeah, you said it.
Sam got it.
Yeah, she nailed it. I'll send you a light up on those. I don't know. I had seen too many people, with all the various short films and stuff like that. I didn't want to weekend warrior this thing. I didn't want to spend 4 years on my first feature film and shoot like 1 weekend here, and 6 months later shoot for a day, and 2 years later shoot for another couple of weekends. Like I wanted it done. Part of the impetus for that was because we had the screenplay was on the festival circuit for a bit. We did the proof of concept. I was lucky enough to do interviews, not as amazing as this one, but interviews. I mean, people had, my friends and family were just getting tired of listening to me babble about this. And I figured it was honestly a matter of time, just I think due to the simplistic novelty, the uniqueness of the idea itself, before somebody else did it. Like I didn't want to talk about it and then have it be the shitty fucking sci-fi movie of the week. That being said, Sci-Fi Channel, if you're watching and you want to pay me to do a shitty version of I'm in. Have more pride. I've been married far too long. So I mean, it was. I didn't want to take forever to get it. I just wanted it done. I wanted it out there. I wanted the world to be able to see it, and I wanted to be able to take that movie to elevate everyone involved, on both sides of the camera, to be able to get them to the next level or 2 or 3 or 5 that they deserve to be at. So it was just a matter of just trying to get it done. And
it's all in the can right there. There's nothing else to shoot, correct?
Oh, besides myself? No races.
Don't shoot yourself.
No, I mean, I've got Nerf guns. I mean, I'm not being terrified. That's all bad. No, yeah, we did. We had everything done. We spent maybe, I think, 3 days just doing a couple of different pickup shots in random places. And we did, a minor ADR session, but 99% of the film was done in those 19 days. Right.
Okay.
But you are slightly a micro person who did a whole lot of stuff ahead of time to prepare for those.
5'10". I'm not a
micro. He's not a little guy.
I'm sitting down. You knew that, right?
So, like, you're not a micromanager, but you are very detailed oriented. So you had it all lined out as good as you could without any.
And OPD are a wonderful combination. Yep. No, yeah, I've always, and I did that. I think even before I've been a writer for years. I've always just prepared for everything. If you're not early, you're late. As my AD, Mr. Thorin Clater, said. But from the very first short film, I mean, I will spend an insane amount of time on pre-production. One of the most important things I was lucky enough to talk about just in film panels on MystiCon, rehearsals. I mean, I've been on sets where it's like the actors will show up and they'll meet each other for the first time and be like, "Let's learn our lines." Wow. No. I mean, even with the short films and stuff like that, Between Hell and a Hard Place is a great example. I mean, that's a 25-minute black and white film, the closest thing I'll ever get to an original episode of The Twilight Zone. Out of those 25 minutes, 23 are pretty much nothing but dialogue between Mr. Mike Williams and Mr. Patrick G. Keenan, both of whom are in Kill Giggles.
Yes.
I was unaware now.
Yes.
But I mean, and I rehearsed the shit out of those two guys. I mean, probably easily 5 or 6 times. I mean, just running lines, so that when they showed up on set, they didn't have to rehearse. I mean, it was a matter of simple blocking, this shot. We shot that movie in a weekend. With Kill Giggles, it was sort of the same thing. We had so many people scattered in different parts that we didn't have the good luck to be able to do a table read or anything. So it was a lot of online rehearsals with Michael and Ellie, and then rehearsing with like Patrick and Nereida, who played the 2 detectives. But I mean, just rehearsals. I mean, that saves an amazing amount of time on set. I did a lot of the location scouting along with our wonderful location director, whatever the title is, location goddess. That sounds way more fun. Ms. Beth Compton. So I mean, we busted our asses driving all over the state of North Carolina. But by being able to see those locations and select locations, and then taking Jesse Knight and whatever Mr. Ledford had and walking my crew through them. So it's like this, wow. Getting an idea so that you don't show up on set for the first time. It's like, where should we stick a camera? I don't know where lights go. I mean, it's just all these things that just save an amazing amount of time so that when you show up on set, when you get the cast there, when you get the crew there, and I like to refer to it as Occam Murphy's Law of Razors, the simplest thing that can go wrong will. So that when you have everything prepared and nothing could possibly go wrong, it will. And then you can deal with it and you can adapt and you can keep going. I've seen where simple things can just derail an entire production. And I couldn't take a chance on that happening because for some reason, a whole lot of people bought into this idea and it was my ass on the line if something went wrong. So, I mean, I couldn't let them down. I couldn't let my boy down because he was. Yeah, I mean, it's him. I couldn't let my dad down. So I mean, I did that. There was a lot of people that I had to make happy. So I mean, I've sacrificed a lot of time for this, but it's worth it. It's so fucking worth it already. So that when people see the final product, just to be able to see the idea that it has, and I mean, the independent horror scene in North Carolina is super strong. So I want them to be proud of this as well.
Let me sneak this in then, since you brought that up.
Since I don't shut the fuck up.
No, I didn't say that. How did you sneak Shane Terry into the movie?
I've known Shane Terry for many moons. We've been in some Sick Chick flicks, Adrenaline Plug Productions films, Black Label Society videos and stuff like that. He's appeared. He had some fantastic cameos in the Booze, Bullets, and Hot Pink Jesus trilogy. So when I wrote the role of Kinky Dinky, I mean, I wrote it specifically for Shane Terry.
So Shane is a clown?
Yes.
Okay.
You mean a clown or a clown in the movie?
In the movie.
Hey,
we're getting close through Facebook, so I know he's a clown in real life.
I'm seeing like all these different film friends, and everyone's knowing each other now. I'm like, holy shit! Yeah, small.
And then I segue into my next one, which I haven't shared. I haven't shared this with her yet.
Uh-oh.
So let me see how should I ask this?
I don't know.
Okay, do you play pool? Okay, let me ask you this.
Like
if Brett Mullen is involved, do you play pool?
Oh yeah, well obviously. I mean, I did once. Yeah, that billiard game didn't end well.
The pool stick.
Alex Elliott is still, I think, smirking somewhere in whatever part of the country she's in right now.
Do you want to explain? Should we explain to Samantha
why?
About the pool stick?
Well, I know, she'll be fine.
Is it self-explanatory?
Yeah, it's not context. You're honestly, you will probably live a more fulfilling life not knowing.
Okay, Brett told me to tell you, on the heels of that, he really appreciates everything you've done for the North Carolina horror community.
I haven't done anything.
He's very appreciative.
He's got big fancy. Fuck me, do his Killer Babes movie. I was on set for that. And I'm just like,
for which one?
Killer Babes, the one.
The new one, the one he's working on right now.
Holy shit! It was just like, it's crazy. I was at a skate rink. I took my boy. We had on Halloween masks. It was awesome.
Oh wow, awesome.
No, Brett's a cool cat. He needs to. Did you guys talk about his tiny little beer habit at all? He drinks very tiny, very small beers. It's like a shot glass. That's complete exaggeration. We were at a mariachi bar one night. Like we all get like, I think we all were like Nereida go on tap. You get like a massive, I don't know, like 1,000-ounce thing. Actually, they used to have 100-ounce things that look like bongs with soccer balls on them. But we all got the biggest ones we could, and then Brett orders like a tiny little like.
I'm not getting drunk, guys.
No, I'm like, can we put a rubber nipple on that for you? Like, he's like, I didn't know they had different sizes. I'm like, it's on the menu, made it in English. I mean, so I've never stopped giving him grief for that. But I've worked with Brett on many, many different things.
Yeah, I found that out that last time we had talked to him, and I was like, I did not make the connection until he brought that up, and then knowing that Shane was in there too, that was what a cool crew,
Oh yeah. Yeah, we
very
have
cool
cats here in North Carolina.
Awesome.
So one of the scenes, you see a little boy with a clown passing in front of him. That's your little boy, Jack, right? Yeah, there he is.
No, that's not him actually. That's Michael Ray Williams. That's his nephew, Aiden.
Oh, it looked just like your son.
a little bit. My boy is in the movie. He has a cameo in an arcade scene. Actually, it's in the first 10 minutes. There's a bunch of little kids in an arcade, and my boy was one of those.
That's okay. We did see that then.
I thought that was your son, just the way he looks in the back.
No, he would never sit still for that long, no matter how.
So that was going to be my question: is he in more than just that? So obviously he's in the game, what'd you call arcade?
Yeah, he's in the arcade, and then he's got some wonderful clips in the behind the scenes documentary and stuff like that. And then I also, when he was 2, he made a cameo in the second act of the Booze, Bullets, and Hot Pink Jesus trilogy.
Oh,
and
nice.
The child, and Don't Let the Light In. The child, his name is Jack, but it was portrayed by a different blonde boy, a brilliant lad by the name of Will Davis. But my son thinks it's him. He's like, no, his name is Jack. I'm like, that's not you, boo. He's like, no, it's me. I'm like, that's a different boy. Like, but so I'm like, fucking it's you, yeah. So I'm like,
sometimes it's just easier to let him win.
Yeah, well, he's already too smart for my own good, so it's not going to end well for me.
So he's in there, and then you have your mom in your movies in some way, shape, or form.
Yes, my beautiful mamacita. Yeah, no, she's I've sort of like the character in the female protagonist, female lead in the second act of Hot Pink Jesus was named Diana Maria Guillermo's, and my mom's name was Diana Marie Williams. So I mean, she's always inspired me more than she will ever know or realize, or more than I will ever put the words together to do her any sort of justice. But yeah, so this was the first thing I wanted to be able to. It worked out where I could put her in the film. Also, I stole her minivan, and we used that as a lead car for the production the entire time. So I kind of owed it to her, really. But yeah, she lives 20 minutes away in Ashboro, and she's been here since my boy was born. So I'm a very lucky boy. I was able to put her and one of her tiny little dogs, Slippy, in the film. Who I can't wait. I honestly hope I know I'm gonna get trolled because it's just seeing people troll everybody because everybody has to hate everything because it's fucking cool now. The one thing I hope I get trolled for about the film is I want people to rag on me for the fake looking dog in that one scene that my mom was in because she carries this dog and I wish I could be as stoned as this dog looks. Because it's got like Benicio del Toro eyes. I mean, it goes out like this, it looks stuffed.
It's a real dog.
Yeah, it's a completely real dog, man.
Oh wow!
Go back and watch the thing, and I was just like, it was awesome. Slippy was that little puppy dog's name. But I hope I get trolled. They're like, that was the worst looking fake dog I've ever seen in a movie. And like, here it is, fucker.
It's a real dog.
I'll try to shit on them and be like, ha ha. Yeah.
Did you put a disclaimer at the end that says no dogs were harmed in the making of this film?
Yeah,
for the PETA people.
I always try and have some fun with my credits anyway. So we'll do something there. But I'm sure I'll have to put PETA, the people for the eating of tasty animal.
Yeah.
Put in something about that, and then also but no people were harmed, but some clowns.
All the clowns
were. So I had two questions. One of them is, how has your wife helped you realize your dream?
She's the cause. She's my muse. She is the moon of my life. I wouldn't be a filmmaker, I don't think, if it wasn't for her. For some reason, I think it's a chronic vision problem she has. She hasn't told me to fuck off yet, but it doesn't change the locks. Let's put it that way. But early on in our relationship, being lucky enough to have the beautiful blonde of my arm and take her to a movie, and then I would walk out of the movie, and I'm like, they should have done this and this and this, and I would just bitch about movies, and she reached her threshold. She's like, well, all right then, well, why don't you do it?
Wow.
And I think as anyone will attest, trying to counteract a logical feminine wild. Like, well, fine, I will then. Shit. And then I got involved with a few friends from work. We did a thing called the 48-hour film project here in Greensboro, and for some reason we got an honorable mention for best writing. I'm like, I'm an award-winning screenwriter, and I wasn't an award-winning screenwriter. So we hurried up into another thing called The Devil's Tramping Ground, which was a 45-minute long movie based around a piece of North Carolina folklore. 45 minutes being the absolute fucking worst length for a film ever, because it's it never got it anywhere. And also, the writing was rubbish. I had no idea what I was doing. I think I pretty much just wrote one massive fucking prose page. No formatting, no screen breaks, no characters, blah, 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 blah. But that's an idea that we're going to come back and revisit too. So if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have gotten started in filmmaking. If it wasn't for her unconditional patience and support, I probably wouldn't have continued filmmaking. I would have given up a long time ago because it's really hard.
It is hard.
But she won't let me quit, and she won't quit me. So I owe her everything. So.
Oh, good for you. Good for her. And I had read in one of the articles that I was reading about you having.
Wait, oh yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Aww.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, well done, Kevin.
That is
How
awesome.
sweet.
My baby boy, that was last Christmas.
Very cool.
Wow, now I'm small again. Did I do that? Shit,
Yeah.
Oh, I did it again.
Way to go, Joe. Blame Joe.
We have a great producer.
Blame Joe.
The coronavirus.
The coronavirus.
That's right. I read that you had a clown on site that was trained professionally.
Yes. A brilliant bloke by the name of Brzezinski. He was one of the last graduates of the Ringling Brothers Martin and Bailey Clown College, I think, which was in Florida.
That's cool. I think you might have broke up a little bit on the name, Jaysen. What was the name again?
Joey Brzezinski.
Okay.
Yeah, he was absolutely professionally trained. I mean, he's been doing this for years and years. I mean, he's a fantastic juggler and does shit with fire and all sorts of stuff like that.
Wow.
Excuse me. But I wanted to be able to have him involved. He was our official clown consultant for the production. Because to me, it was important to have that authenticity. Because I mean, I think all clowns are floppy-footed fuckers anyway. I mean, he ended up having tacos with them, and he kind of walked me through some of the history of clowns and why the hobo clown developed, and why this sort of set did, and kind of walked me through a layman's Cliff Notes history of clowns and shit like that, which I didn't want to hear. But I had to, I mean, it was important to be able to do that. And I, worked with him, and then with Mr. Joe Harp, who handled the special effects, and a guy by the name of Mr. Chad, who's an amazing artist. He did the character concepts for us and stuff like that. So to have these different people involved with so much level of expertise, I mean, it's another thing that makes Kill Giggles, I think, the amazing product it's going to be, because it's not just somebody's like, I want clowns to be scary looking. And I mean, that was the biggest impetus to do Kill Giggles, because I was honestly just fucking sick of seeing the movies where the clowns were the serial killers. It was like, ooh, it's a scary monster. Look, it's a clown. How much thought did that take? And there's some really good ones out there. I mean, I can't knock them, but I mean, once I started compiling the list, I mean, it just got fucking obscene. I mean, it was just like, they were the serial killers of the monsters, or the spreaders of mayhem, and it was just like, I couldn't believe that no one had ever thought to just flip the script a little bit. So I did a lot of research out there, and I was like, ooh, is your movie like Clownado?
No,
it's not. They're like, is it like It? If I say yes, will you buy it? But yeah, I mean, there wasn't anything like Kill Giggles out there, and I think that was another part of the impetus for getting it done as quick as we humanly could. And
you're really pushing that point of it's killing clowns. It's because people are going to think, oh, it's another this, but it's not. It's completely different.
Yeah, I mean, we have the serial killer of clowns, not
of clowns
who dresses up like a clown.
Correct.
And the way, just after seeing, the first 10 minutes, the color grading and stuff like that Mr. Jesse Nine's doing, I'm trying not to cover up Princess Leia. And the score that Ron Wasserman, an amazing
yes,
out in LA, is composing. To me, and I think a lot of it more this whole time, Kill Giggles is more of a thriller than it is a horror. And I think a lot of people I hope are going to be surprised, because it's not like any clown movie that they've seen before, but it's also, I think, not as much like a lot of the modern horror movies that are out there. We sort of eschewed a lot of modern horror tropes. It's not gratuitous. It's not blood, guts, blood, guts, cum, torture porn, all this stuff like that. I mean, it's I hope the most gratuitous thing in the film is the story. There's no scantily clad co-eds running around. This is probably spoilers. Now no one's gonna watch my movie. We got that guy though. We got that guy.
There's your sexy woman.
I love that shot. That boy.
That is a creepy shot.
It is creepy.
He's got fantastic tits too. He's got an ass like Georgia peach. You just want to bite it, We don't show his ass in the film, because I mean I couldn't afford to pay for the nudity. But yeah, there's actually no nudity in the film.
However, could it be a horror show then?
Aha! So it's that's why, I mean, to me it's more of a thriller than a horror. From the very beginning, very first meetings I had with Jesse Knight, I'm like, I want Hitchcock meets Kubrick. I want Psycho meets American Psycho. Awesome. So it was important to be able to have that balance to where you have, and then we've got some amazing. We have some amazing death scenes in the film, but we also, I think, have a really good story that takes up a lot more time of the film than just dead clown, dead clown, dead clown, dead clown. The clowns that we kill die in brilliant fucking ways, but there are characters that I really want people to get involved and attached with while they're watching the film. So I mean,
I think I see a potential death and where it came from, but I'm not going to say anything because that'll spoil it. So, but I think I see something. I'm really looking forward to that.
You have to message me about that later.
Okay, I will.
Like, there's some stuff in the film. There's an incident that takes place at a taco joint in a Mexican restaurant. which was straight out of my life. I had helped a friend move one day, and I actually had that friend portray herself in the film. And a clown walks in and starts making balloon animals, and I'm like, don't fucking look at the clown. I'm like, nobody look at this. And that everyone's like, hey, there's a clown. I'm like, fuck, why are you people my friends? And then I'm like, just everyone be cool. So they were finally cool. I'm like, don't look at it, otherwise it'll come right here. So now she just makes a fucking beeline for our table. I'm like, you gotta go. And they're all like, get the fuck out. And the clown's like, I'm gonna make you a balloon doggy. And I'm like, please leave now. And she's like, I'm gonna make this. I'm like, I will stab you in the fucking throat with my fucking fork if you don't leave right fucking now. Which apparently you're not supposed to say after everyone got it. I'm the asshole. Yeah, so I pulled that straight out of my life. So there's some biological moments in the film.
So do you still hate clowns after all this time?
Fuck yes, with the fire passion of 1,000 suns. Death to those floppy-footed fuckers, except for Joey Rosicki, so I do have that for.
This was supposed to be your what do you say in the documentary? Your exorcism of your fear of clowns.
It's ill-advised self-administered psychotherapy. It just seems cheaper than checking myself back into the institution. I'm like, I did that. I don't want to go back. So,
wow.
Yeah,
maybe you need some couch time with Dr. Lee. The right kind, not that kind.
Oh, okay.
Hey, the missus might not like that.
No, I don't think the missus or her. I'd be scared of Felissa too. What if she really has a dick? I don't know.
She really does.
We've already determined she does, right?
Well, backfire horribly. I'm like, my hand. I'm committed myself. It's too late. I don't know.
Come on, that's movie magic. It was movie magic.
It is, but the wrong kind, my friend. The wrongest kind.
The wrong kind.
That's funny.
Oh man! So we want Joe to show the trailer.
Sure.
Yeah, let's go.
Joe, look at that.
With my mind here. Hold on.
Our producer's awesome.
Mind powers.
Mind powers. Let's see a Tenacious D way.
And are you feeling a little bit mad lately, Tommy?
Well, I haven't murdered anybody, if that's what you're asking.
Tommy, that's not what I'm saying at all. You've made so much progress here in the last 2 years, but I mean, that we have more work to do.
This is a third dead clown in as many weeks, right?
I guess, and?
Doesn't seem a little...
You were gonna say funny, weren't you?
I was gonna say odd.
3, huh?
Well, the second one's a mine, but yeah, 3.
What I heard on the news, that someone in this little town really hates clowns.
You need to leave now.
So tell me, what is Tommy's issue?
He's afraid of clowns.
I said leave, clown.
Eden, how much do you really know about Tommy's childhood?
I know his parents died when he was young. And he told me about the clown with the red balloons right before it happened.
My problem is that when he's around, certain people die. Certain clown people.
I'm just gonna have to improvise.
For a clown named Giggles, you're not very funny.
For a monster shaped like a man, you're not very scary.
Yeah.
Yes. That's the one I was hoping he'd show. I like that one.
Mr. Vernon Wiles.
One of those is your favorite scene, right?
A lot of them are, but the clown father scene, the one we had where it's Vernon sitting at the restaurant, and then we have Michael and Ellie. We call it the clown father just because of the lighting and the walk-in shots and stuff, like the cinematography between Justin Knight's cinematography and Jaysen Ledford's gaffing. That scene has to be fucking award-winning. Not to mention all the brilliant people in it, and then the whole for a monster shaped like a man, that's one of my favorite lines that I think I've ever written. I'm really, really proud of that. But just to hear Vernon Wiles saying what came out of my head is still a mind fuck. I'm like, oh. But yeah, the clown father scene, that was early on. That was the first week of filming that we got that out of the way because he was in town just for a couple of days. But it was just absolutely amazing.
How do you like? I know how I react. She knows how I react. How do you react when you see you're this close to Vernon Wiles? And I mean, do you have to kind of just take deep breaths?
It is what it is, mate, as we would say. Well, I mean, yeah, it didn't, it didn't hurt that I picked him up at the airport in my mom's minivan because it was the G&E thing, and I don't know where my car was. And I mean, it still smelled like dogs because she has a lot of dogs. So she's like, we're hanging out, and he's going through my cassette tapes. He looked at ACD. She's like, this is rubbish. And he got like Deep Purple, and we just listened to Deep Purple, and I drove him to the hotel.
Sweet.
Yeah, it was, but it was cool. We had a lot of conversations via text and email, and then I think we talked on the phone one night for 45 minutes. It was fucking weird. I don't think I've done that since like 1983. Right. It was very odd. So, I mean, I got very lucky because I mean, even in the early days of pre-production, his agent told me, he's like, I would never let my client do a project like this. I don't like it, but he loves the script, and he told me to fuck off. Okay. But yeah, I mean, Vernon had just such a, I mean, he really, I think it was the right script. I hope it was the right script he read. He knew the words. He really loved the Kill Giggles script. He loved the character of Giggles, of Malcolm Foster. I mean, he had all sorts of ideas. He's like, this is what I think Malcolm's backstory is. I'm like, that's way better than what I wrote. So I mean, we were able to flesh out the character, I think, to a far more charming degree than what I had originally put to paper, and that's due entirely to Vernon. Don't ever call him Mr. Wells or Sir. He hates that shit. We had a thing going on set where we just every time you called him Sir, Mr. Wells, you had to put $5 in a jar, and then we took and donated it to one of the animal shelters around here. So, I mean, I'm not really from anywhere, and kind of an enigma. But I call everyone Sir and Ma'am just because if I don't, my dad will come back from beyond the grave and smack me in the back of the head.
We're in the South, and you have to say ma'am and sir, or it's rude.
Yeah. So I mean, I probably racked up most of those violations myself. I was like, yes, sir. I'm like, fuck it, just run my card at the end of the card. Tab out later. But it was cool. I mean, he showed up on set, and I mean, a lot of people were nervous. I mean, it's Vernon Wells, but he had this amazing ability just to put everyone at ease from the first 5 minutes. Usually with inappropriate jokes and wonderfully devious humor, which was a fantastic combination, especially with an Australian accent,
Right.
Everything dirty with an Australian accent is sexy.
It's true. Well, you do the right accent. You're all linguist. The drunk right, usually the Irish, it's like an Irish pikey accent that kicks in. You're like, where are you from? It's there. You know, what? And I got fuck off. And then just gets a bit dodgy at the end,
That's awesome.
I dropped that snatch a while ago on him, and he started laughing.
I was like, don't make me choke on like sleepy time here, dude. 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
5 minutes. You said that 4 minutes ago. I did a George the other day. He said the same thing. He laughed.
You can't never go wrong with a good snatch quote.
Right?
Or a good, I'm not even going to finish that one. All right, so.
Is there any other projects you have already, like, not that you're just conceiving up here, that you're already working while you're working this other one?
Yes, we got some really good stuff. Mr. Jesse Knight has a wonderful script called Trapdoor Spider, which is it just has so many wonderful elements in it. I mean, it's a creepingly, charmingly, fucking disturbingly brilliant story. Now I'm a little bit of Saw, a little bit of Black Mirror. I mean, just like there's some Hitchcock and Kubrick, and he loves Kurosawa. I mean, it's got some in there, but just a very simple, twisted story that has a lot of potential to it. So we're sort of in the very, very early pre-production stages on that, looking at locations and casting and stuff like that. But we want to be able to get that one off the ground soon. So when we do, you'll be able, it'll be everywhere when we start working on that one. But brilliant script, so I hope I get to help out on that. And then there's one of the shorts I've written, which is called The Blue-Eyed Boy and Mr. Death, which is a line from an E. Cummings poem, Buffalo Bill. How do you like your blue-eyed boy, Mr. Death? That line's been in my head since 7th grade. I wrote a screenplay about it, and it's very, very different, which I think will throw a lot of people off. More of a dark existential drama with sort of like a cosmic twist at the end. It's another sort of the Twilight Zone is obviously a huge fucking impact on me. So it's sort of another homage to what Rod Serling was able to create with the Twilight Zone. I haven't seen the new one. I'm sure it's nice. But I mean, there's no beating the black and white originals. I mean, what Rod Serling, what he was able to do, between him and Richard Matheson, everyone sort of wrote for that thing, to be able to take it to craft these amazing fucking stories within 30 minutes or within 60 minutes. I mean, it was, modern day Prometheus. I mean, just a brilliant fucking storyteller. So that's what the Blue-Eyed Boy and Mr. Death is. But very, very dramatic, very dark. About a guy who his father passes away from cancer. So I mean, just pretty much straight out of my composition books. Passes away, but he keeps his father's number, his old cell phone number in his phone, and sort of gets drunk and gets a house, and he's sort of trying to celebrate and kind of reminiscing, and accidentally dials it, and someone picks up on the other end, and a lot of very heartstring pulling things happen within a very short period of time. So that's something. But Adam Hampton is an amazing fucking actor. I mean, on par with Michael Ray Williams. I mean, I've never seen him do anything bad. Like, and he's really fucking nice and wicked smart too. He's one of the people, like, I want to not like him. It's like, they've got everything going for him. And it's like, I've got like a face like a coat rack, and it's just like, but I mean, he's amazing at what he does. So I wrote, and I have all these books downstairs about how to write screenplays or how to direct films. And I'm pretty sure they tell you not to write roles for specific people. I've been too busy making movies to read any of the books on how to make movies, which might explain a thing or two. But I write roles for specific people all the time, and maybe sort of break a lot of the rules and stuff. But that's something I want to be able to work on. And then there's 5 other short films I'm trying to get out of my skull. And then I want to redo The Devil's Tramping Ground again, because it's a fantastic piece of North Carolina folklore. It dates back to the 1700s, and outside of Siler City, there was supposed to be this 40-foot circle where nothing would ever grow, like no plants or anything like that. Like, there's dirt, dank, and dark, and decadent, and other D words because I love to use alliteration. But it attributed, the legend says that was where the devil would walk around in a circle at night, plotting out all the machinations of the world's evil. That was why nothing would ever grow there. And this was in the early 2006, probably 2007. So, I mean, in the neophytic, syphilitic college frat girl stage of the internet, maybe, I don't know. Like the girls gone wild of the internet days. It's like, I've got tits, but like, no one cares. But it was just, I mean, there wasn't just the mass influx of all the stuff on there. So I mean, it's like I could find these various little like vlog reports or like chat room message transcripts about people. It's like, I went and I fell asleep inside the Devil's Tramping Ground. I woke up and all my stuff was scattered for 40 feet in every direction. Like all these very, very arcane tales. So I have to find this place. I had to track it down. I mean, I had built up in my head this image of just utter archetypal pure fucking evil, like this shit that was in the microwave at the end of Time Bandit.
Yes.
I'm like, there was a 40-foot circle of just the blackness. I'm like, I can't wait to see this shit. So, we tracked down, and again, before the days, the advent of MapQuest and everything else like that. So we got a loose sense of direction, pulled up in front of the gas station like 5 miles away. Bartles and James were out in their respective rocking chairs. We're like, you're looking for the Devil's Tramping Ground, huh? And finally found the place, checked off in the woods. I found this like little 4-foot circle shitty fucking burn pit with a bunch of shit boxes. I'm like, well,
that's not it.
I'm like, it's got to be further and deeper into the woods. Darkness. So we trekked for like an hour, and we ended up like on fucking Farmer Brown's cow pasture. I'm like, nope, that was it. Son of fuck. Okay. Horribly anticlimactic. So we just decided to recreate our own. But again, it was just I ended up having no idea what I was doing, writing screenplays at least, or maybe I still don't know what I'm doing. And I ended up getting put in front of the camera because someone else who was supposed to play one of the leads dropped out, and they were like, "Why don't you do it?" I'm like, "I'm not a fucking actor." And we had like 2 directors, and it was just like it wasn't a complete clusterfuck, but like it had a quorum going for it. Like there was like half plus one of a clusterfuck there. But the story itself, and it's sort of like a rock and roll band makes a Faustian deal with the devil, and their fortunes turn and they get everything they ever wanted in the world, but not for as long as they thought they would have it, or not in the way they thought they would get it. So it's just sort of like I don't know, like if Sympathy for the Devil was like a feature-length horror film. So I want to be able to do that. The first time we did it, we didn't do it right. So I want to be able to do it justice. But I'm hoping with the hopeful potential success of Kill Giggles and the other shorts and stuff like that, that will be able to elevate us properly to be able to do Devil's Tramping Ground the right way. Because I mean, it's a wonderful North Carolina folklore at its finest. It's a script that I think a lot of people in this area could be proud of if I can write it right.
Gotcha.
I think you shortchange yourself a little bit.
I was born with a shot glass full of self-esteem, and got knocked over at an early age. So yeah, I'm treading on hopes and prayers at this point.
No, you are brilliant. You've got a great mind. You got a great imagination.
Thank
You have to be warped as fuck to write this kind of movie.
You're not wrong. You are not. No.
And I have to add that I feel like Jaysen is. I've been preaching to George, and George is he's spoken the words that I guess I couldn't get out. I guess we talked to George and Joe quite a bit, and Terry Gerald, our drone cav specialist, their drone Jesus. We talked to him. Those
drone Jesus.
Yeah, yes, he's the man. But we talk pretty extensively with those guys, and I think my biggest, I don't know how to explain it. What I would like to really push in the indie community is what I see you do a lot, and I feel like
masturbate.
No, I don't. I haven't seen it. For the record, I haven't seen that. So I'm just the thing is
on Pornhub the whole time.
Damn it! No, the good stuff. You focus on the positive. I think you may have had very little negative since we've been friends, and that's what I'm trying to preach. And I love you, Jaysen. And
right back
I appreciate what you do for the community. I really do. And
I appreciate this. Well, I think we have to. I mean, I think I've said it before, but like if we spend more, I wish people would spend, or at least especially filmmakers, everybody, I guess. Just spend more time building each other up instead of tearing.
Exactly. Thank you.
So many indie filmmakers, or not so many, but just the ones that do or seem to be the ones that get the attention. But trashing other film sets or other film projects or other filmmakers or actors or cast or crew members or someone that are trashing film festival because they're film digging it in. Maybe your movie sucks. Sometimes stuff sucks and there's nothing we can do about it. I'm friends, lucky enough to be friends with a lot of film festival programmers, so it's like I kind of get to hear some of the back end stuff too, and it's just like unbelievable. And it's hard sometimes. I mean, I've birthed 13 short film babies into this world, and soon to be a feature fucker. That's not going to get in everywhere, and sometimes it sucks when you have to pay you end up shelling out $60 to take a chance and a gamble on that someone who's going to watch your movie watches the whole thing, or was in a good mood, or didn't have their cat pissing their cornflakes, or whatever sets them off, so that they're in the proper mental state to enjoy your film. And they might think it sucks. But maybe it does, but it's just like I was finally lucky enough to learn the lesson several years ago. I mean, to not, you can't not take it personal, but you can't take it deeply personal. And I've seen too many people take it personal. They're, turn around and, work on someone's film set and then spend 3 days trashing them online because it didn't go the way they thought it would.
Right.
Sometimes it doesn't go the way you think it would.
Right.
But there's nothing you can fucking do about it. But to belittle and whine and piss and moan about it does nothing but make you look like a fucking twat.
Right.
And maybe that's what you are, but I mean, it's like, and so I mean, I've, in those instances where I've seen that happen, the filmmakers where some of them are, smart enough to just sort of keep their mouths shut and just sort of let what happen, what's going to happen. So I think a lot of people, at least in the filmmaking, the artistic, creative community, I mean, most of them are smart enough to be able to sort of see through the social media bullshit.
Right.
To read between the lines, to read between the binary lines, if you will.
And if they don't right then, it usually follows. I mean, it catches up with yourself.
Yes, it is. And that's what I'm trying to say is like, everybody's watching. I've made some examples to George. Like I said, we talk almost every day, basically. Mm-hmm. And I've made some examples, and George cuts me off and goes, I already knew that. And I'm like, oh shit, because everybody's watching. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, people are gonna find out. I mean, you will get exposed if you're not. Be positive. I'm telling everybody, stay positive.
Within Mad Ones, I mean, I think even, at least I don't know. I mean, I don't know as much about the greater North Carolina filmmaking community as I do the sort of horror related. Cause I mean, that's where I live. But I mean, we're very lucky. I mean, you get, people get upset, shit happens from time to time. But I mean, I think for the most part, we're lucky. I mean, just to want to be able to further the community, not the individual members of the community. So it's like, we work on each other's sets. You know, I mean, if somebody wins an award, we share that. We're like, congratulations. You know, I mean, we promote, you know, the other things going on in the independent horror community, not just our stuff that has our name on it. It's not me. I mean, you know, no man is an island. Some people can be peninsulas or penises.
But you have to share it too. We have to know, like when you won the award. I mean, we have to know. I mean, like when you were singing Cher the other day. I mean, we needed to know. We needed to see that performance.
Things I do for charity scholarship auctions.
Right, that was awesome. By the way,
last year it was Dolly Parton. This year it was Cher. I'm like, fuck. Like my son, I'm having Rex with him. He's like, Daddy, are you really gonna sing a song as a woman? I was like, yeah. Okay.
So when I watched that, I was a little confused at first because I saw boobs first, and then I saw what I thought was you, and I'm like, "What the fuck did I just watch?" And then I caught on because I didn't read any like what it was ahead of time. I just started watching the video. So then, okay, this is what this is.
That makes sense. Hey, Jaysen, where would one find you on social media platforms?
Just to the left. Yeah. Now people are going to draw political aspersions. They're like, there's three things I never talk about with people: politics, religion, and the Great Pumpkin. And the third one is a lie.
That's right.
No, the social media. Well, our CB radio handle is ClownKiller666. And then I wish we had a CB radio handle. Ask your grandparents, kids. I don't know if the kids are even that. No, we have MadOnesFilms.com, KillGiggles.com. I think it's Facebook, Twitter, YouTube /MadOnesFilms, Facebook.com/KillGiggles, the Instagram.com /TheMadOnesFilms, because I had forgotten my original password for MadOnesFilms. Those fucking bastards wouldn't let me back in, so I'm like, I'll put an article in front of it. Yeah, so if anybody knows the password for it, I'll buy it back from you. I'll buy you tacos or something. And then again, I am going to reserve that CB radio handle because I think that's the next big wave of social media.
We'll go back to SOS.
Yeah.
What is that?
Carrier pigeons or
yeah. Well, I appreciate you taking time to talk to us. You are always fun. I appreciate you being positive and helping each other, helping your people.
Try to. Well, it's just a universal rule. It just seems to be don't be a dick.
Yeah.
No matter what, like I don't care like what political party animal is your fucking spirit animal, or who gets your naughty bits all tingly, or what you want to stick your fucking dick in, as long as it's not kids or animal. I don't fucking care. Don't be a dick.
Be a dick.
Yeah. Pick your religious super friend. Pick your political party. It doesn't matter. Don't be an asshole. And yeah, eat tacos. Really.
Taco Tuesday.
We were supposed to have tacos tonight. Dang it!
I know. Well, I'm coming to Texas, and we're gonna get tacos sometime, dude.
Yes, absolutely.
You better come hang out with us.
I will. I know. I'm going to be in Austin in September for the Austin Revolution Film Festival, and then I know like Troy Escamilla's doing wonderful things. I think with the Houston Horror Film Festival. So there's lots of places. We've got a lot of good friends down in Austin and around that area. So I would like to be able to spend some time down there soon.
Awesome.
Sweet. Austin's only like 4 hours, maybe. So.
And Texas time, that's like what? That's like nothing. It's like
it's nothing. Yeah, because it's a day and a half to get out of the state.
It's not like 28-hour trip to North Carolina. Hint, nudge, nudge.
No, I remember that, dude. I played at South by Southwest one time, and we fucking drove there in a van because I guess that somebody thought that was a good idea. Yeah, like 28 hours, like 26 of which were Texas. Like,
yeah,
exactly.
The state is huge.
Yeah, it's nuts, man. It's like mind blowing.
Yes.
Awesome.
Well, we appreciate it. And if you get any more updates, anything you want us to share, please come back on and let's talk some more. And I believe George is going to reach out to you and let's move forward.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it very, very much. It was an honor to spend some time with you guys tonight.
Thanks again, Jaysen.
Thank you, Jaysen.
Okay.
Hey, yeah.